Happy birthday to you!
Fans never imagined this would happen, but on Wang Yibo's special day, Xiao Zhan did something so touching, so unexpected, that even the cameras couldn't capture all the emotions in the room. From gasps to tears, from laughter to heartfelt embraces, this moment has now taken over the internet, and it's easy to see why. It all began quietly, without any hint that something big was about to unfold. Wang Yibo, surrounded by close friends and industry colleagues, was already enjoying a beautiful birthday celebration. But then, the lights dimmed, and the room fell silent. Suddenly, a familiar voice sang softly from behind the crowd. It was Xiao Zhan. The moment Yibo turned around, you could see the shock in his eyes, a rare, unguarded moment from the usually composed star. Xiao Zhan stepped forward holding a custom-made cake, covered in intricate designs representing the milestones of Yibo's career. But it wasn't just the cake. Xiao Zhan had prepared a heartfelt letter, which he read aloud in front of everyone. In his words, he spoke about friendship, trust, and the journey they had walked together in the public eye. Every sentence was filled with genuine emotion, causing fans, both in the room and online, to burst into tears. What followed next was something no one could have predicted. Yibo, visibly moved, pulled Xiao Zhan into a long, emotional hug, the kind that tells 1,000 unspoken stories. Phones went up, flashes went off, and within minutes, the video started going viral worldwide. From that night on, the internet hasn't stopped talking. Was this just a birthday surprise, or was it a deeper message between two people whose bond has defied time, rumors, and distance? Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain, this was a birthday that Wang Yibo, and his fans, will never forget. The entertainment world is buzzing after a moment that no one saw coming. Xiao Zhan's heartfelt surprise for Wang Yibo on his birthday has now become one of the most talked about events in recent fan history. Wang Yibo had been enjoying an intimate gathering with friends, thinking it would be a simple night of cake, music, and laughter. But just as the clock struck the hour, the atmosphere shifted. The lights went out, the crowd fell silent, and an unmistakable voice began to sing softly from behind. Xiao Zhan emerged, holding a stunning, custom-designed cake that told the story of Yibo's journey, from his debut days to his latest achievements. But the most powerful part of the evening came when Xiao Zhan took out a folded letter from his jacket. Speaking slowly and emotionally, he thanked Yibo for the years of mutual respect, for the times they had stood together through challenges, and for the countless memories that couldn't be erased. As Xiao Zhan spoke, Yibo's expression shifted from surprise to deep emotion. Witnesses say they saw Yibo wiping away a tear before stepping forward to embrace Xiao Zhan tightly. The crowd erupted into applause, and the sound of cameras clicking filled the room. Within minutes, short clips of the moment flooded social media. Fans from around the globe expressed shock, joy, and even disbelief at the sincerity of the exchange. Many commented that this was the most real they had ever seen Wang Yibo in public. Others speculated about the depth of their friendship and the strength of their connection. Regardless of interpretation, one fact is undeniable: this was more than just a birthday celebration. It was a heartfelt reminder that behind the glitz and glamour of stardom, real connections and genuine emotions still shine through. The crowd inside the exclusive rooftop venue was still buzzing from the initial shock of seeing Xiao Zhan walk in with that mysterious black gift box. The atmosphere was filled with whispers, phones raised high, and the sound of camera shutters clicking rapidly. Wang Yibo, still frozen in disbelief, slowly approached Xiao Zhan. His usual composed demeanor seemed to melt away as a genuine, almost shy smile tugged at the corners of his lips. "Why are you here?" Yibo's voice was soft but carried an emotional weight that those nearby couldn't ignore. Xiao Zhan simply smiled and handed him the box. "Because today isn't just another day, it's the day the world got you. And I couldn't miss it for anything." As Yibo opened the box, a wave of gasps filled the room. Inside was a sleek, custom-made helmet, designed with intricate patterns of their shared memories, from their first drama together to moments fans had immortalized online. But it wasn't just the gift. It was the engraved message inside. "For every road you ride, may I always be somewhere along the way." Yibo blinked rapidly, clearly trying to hold back tears. The two locked eyes for a few seconds that seemed to last forever, an unspoken connection hanging between them. Fans who managed to record the moment knew instantly they were witnessing something rare and unforgettable. Then, in a move that sent the audience into an emotional frenzy, Yibo stepped forward and hugged Xiao Zhan tightly, longer than anyone expected. It wasn't just a friendly hug, it felt like a silent thank you, an acknowledgement of years of shared moments, both public and private. The night didn't end there. Xiao Zhan had arranged for a fireworks display, timed perfectly so that when the first spark lit up the night sky, a projection of Yibo's name and birthday wishes shone across the city skyline. The cheers were deafening, but in that moment, all that seemed to matter was the way Yibo looked at Xiao Zhan. Grateful, touched, and perhaps even overwhelmed. Social media exploded within minutes. Hashtags like hashtag Xiao Zhan surprise Yibo and hashtag Wang Yibo birthday magic topped trending charts worldwide. Fans couldn't decide what was more heart-melting, the gift, the hug, or the way Yibo's face softened every time he glanced at Xiao Zhan. But one thing was certain, this birthday celebration had just etched itself into fandom history, leaving millions replaying the moment over and over again, wondering if there was more between the two than they were letting on. As the final burst of fireworks faded into the night sky, the rooftop fell into a warm, golden glow from the fairy lights Xiao Zhan had personally chosen for the occasion. A soft melody began playing from the live band he'd secretly booked, Wang Yibo's favorite song. Yibo stood still for a moment, staring at Xiao Zhan as if trying to process the amount of thought and effort that had gone into every detail of the night. He was a man who didn't often show deep emotions publicly, but tonight, his usually guarded expression was replaced with something raw and unfiltered. "I don't know what to say," Yibo murmured, his voice barely above the music. "You don't have to say anything," Xiao Zhan replied, his tone gentle but steady. "Just remember that no matter how busy life gets, no matter how far apart we are, I will always find a way to be here for you on this day." That simple statement silenced everyone in the room. The fans in the far corner, invited especially to witness the celebration, held their breath, afraid to miss a single second of what felt like a once-in-a-lifetime moment. Then came the part no one expected. Xiao Zhan reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a small velvet pouch. Inside was a silver chain bracelet, subtle yet stunning, with two tiny charms, one shaped like a motorbike, the other like a microphone. "They're you and me," Xiao Zhan explained softly as he fastened it onto Yibo's wrist. Different paths, but always side by side. The gesture was so personal, so quietly intimate, that even the staff and security couldn't hide their smiles. Yibo, visibly touched, raised his hand to admire the bracelet for a moment before looking back at Xiao Zhan with a rare, genuine warmth. What happened next set the fandom on fire. Yibo lifted the mic and, in a voice laced with emotion, thanked everyone for being there but paused, then turned to Xiao Zhan and said, "And thank you, for making tonight unforgettable." The way he said it, slow, deliberate, and with a softness he rarely showed, was enough to make the crowd erupt in cheers and tears at the same time. Cameras flashed, videos started streaming across social media, and within minutes, hashtag Xiao Zhan surprises Yibo and hashtag Yibo birthday with Zhan were trending worldwide. The rest of the evening was filled with laughter, music, and quiet glances between the two that left fans replaying clips for hours. One thing was clear, this wasn't just a birthday celebration, it was a memory that would live forever in the hearts of everyone who witnessed it. Just when everyone thought the surprises were over, Xiao Zhan stepped forward with a playful smile and handed Wang Yibo an envelope sealed with gold wax. The crowd grew silent again, sensing that something even bigger was about to happen. Yibo, curious, broke the seal and pulled out a handwritten letter. His eyes scanned the words, and for a moment, the usually composed star's lips trembled ever so slightly. Inside, Xiao Zhan had written, "Every year, the world celebrates you on this day. But for me, every day you're here is worth celebrating. Thank you for being my constant, my strength, and my light." Wang Yibo lowered the letter slowly, clearly fighting to keep his emotions in check. He wasn't the type to cry in public, but his gaze at Xiao Zhan told a different story. Suddenly, Xiao Zhan turned toward the crowd and raised his voice. Tonight, I didn't just want to wish him happy birthday. I wanted to remind him, and all of you, how much he means to the people who truly know him." The audience broke into applause, but Xiao Zhan wasn't done. He motioned to the far corner of the rooftop, and the door swung open. Out walked Yibo's mother, smiling warmly, holding a small cake decorated with miniature motorcycle figurines. The look on Yibo's face was priceless, pure shock mixed with deep gratitude. He quickly walked over, hugged his mother tightly, and then turned back to Xiao Zhan, visibly moved. With a soft laugh, Yibo shook his head and said into the microphone, "You really planned all this?" Xiao Zhan just smiled and replied, "Only for you." The entire rooftop seemed to hold its breath as Yibo stepped forward and pulled Xiao Zhan into a brief but unmistakably heartfelt hug. Cameras caught every second, and fans in the live stream chat lost their minds. By the end of the night, social media was flooded with captions like "This is more than friendship" and "The way they look at each other is unreal." It wasn't just a birthday anymore. It had become a love letter written in actions, one that neither the fans nor the stars would forget anytime soon. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and turn on your notification bell for more updates on your favorite celebrities.